Good morning and welcome. This morning's commencement marks the 145th time that St. Peter's Prep has gathered to award diplomas. And it provides me with one last opportunity on behalf of the entire Prep community to thank our graduates and their families for giving us the privilege of being a part of their lives for the past 4 years. Our program begins today in prayer. Prep's Director of Campus Ministry, Dr. Susan Welliver, will give our invocation. In a moment, I will ask all to please stand for our prayer and afterward to remain standing for the playing of our national anthem by the award-winning Prep Band. Please welcome Dr. Susan Welliver.
Good morning. What an honor it is to be standing before you, St. Peter's Prep's class of 2023 and families. In the first Mass of the year, I said, Saubona. If you remember, this is a common greeting for the people of the Zulu tribe in southern Africa. It means, I see you. You are important to me, and I value you. Graduates, my greatest desire for you is for you to know that you are seen by me, by us, and by God. You are so worthy of love and well loved. So let us begin in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear God, what an honor it is to be on the road with these young persons, Prep's class of 2023. You have journeyed with them thus far on the road and provided them with companions through friends, families, teachers, coaches, and more. Let our time of celebration this morning be a moment in their life story that they can return to and remember how loved they are, that you see them, how far they have already come, and that they are brave, capable, and leaders for change. We give you our time this morning and the futures of these graduates, inviting your presence to be known, for our hearts to be open to experiencing only goodness, and for our words and actions to be glorifying to you. St. Ignatius of Loyola, St. Peter.
Please be seated. Again, It is my great honor to preside at these 145th commencement exercises of St. Peter's Preparatory School. Let's start the proceeding with a few introductions. I'm joined today on the stage from your left to right by Ms. Emma Bagg, Registrar, Dr. Susan Welliver, Director of Campus Ministry, Father John Mullen, Society of Jesus, representing the Jesuit community, Dr. Michael A. Gomez, Class of 91, President, Mr. Phil McGovern, Class of 76, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Salvatore Viniero, Class of 2005, Director of Global Initiatives, who will deliver the address to our graduates later in the program, Mr. John Morris, Dean of Students, and Mr. Richard Peters, Class of 1985, Interim Assistant Principal. To my right and left are PREP's distinguished faculty and staff and administration. And by far, the most important people here today, it is my pleasure to introduce you to the class of 2023. By many standards, the class of 2023 is an exceptional one at St. Peter's. For members of the faculty, staff, and administration, particularly those who have been at Prep for some time, each class has a personality, a spirit, and a style all its own. Challenged as we were by the global COVID-19 pandemic during your time at Prep, you nonetheless demonstrated remarkable resilience as you navigated these uncharted waters. The young men of the class of 2023 embody all that Jesuit education looks to foster. They are open to growth, intellectually competent, religious, loving, and committed to doing justice. To begin our program this afternoon, we would like to acknowledge the academic achievements of the members of the class of 2023. We are particularly proud of the 80 members of the class who are graduating today with honors, a 3.7 or higher, cum laude, or high honors, 4.0 and over, magna cum laude, for maintaining a superior grade point average over their 4 years at Prep. This is noted in the program, and today, as the graduates are recognized on stage, those students will be designated cum laude or magna cum laude. In a moment, I will ask Mr. Richard Peters, Interim Assistant Principal, and Mr. John Morris, Dean of Students, to announce a number of special awards. Each recipient should stand at his place or come forward as directed by Mr. Peters or Mr. Morris. Mr. Richard Peters.
The National Merit Scholarship Competition acknowledges the academic achievement of high school students based on PSAT results. Only the top 5% of the more than 1.5 million high school students eligible for the National Merit Scholarships are recognized by that organization each year. Prep is extremely proud to have 7 students who were commended in the 2023 National Merit Scholarship Competition. Please hold your applause until the entire roster has been called. I ask the following to stand for recognition: Horace Anderson, Evan Briggs, Ishan Chen, Drona Mohan, Michael Shipman, Kevin Schull, Stephen Vago. One student has been recognized as a recipient of the 2023 National Merit Scholarship. I ask Akshat Argawal to please stand. The College Board recognizes as outstanding Hispanic Latino high school scholars students who have achieved a minimum PSAT score for their region and a junior year cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. I ask the following students to please stand and be recognized as a 2022-2023 scholar in the National Hispanic Recognition Scholars Program. Sebastian Arteaga, Jake Grullon, Antoine Hurtado Barzak, Robert Leon Jr., and Andrew Parra. The College Board recognizes as outstanding African American high school scholars students who have achieved a minimum PSAT score for their region and a junior year cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. I ask the following students to please stand and be recognized as 2022-2023 scholars in the National African American Recognition Scholars Program. Bryce Anderson, Horace Anderson, Chialuka Owadike, the College Board recognizes as Outstanding Indigenous Recognition Award high school scholars, students who have achieved the minimum PSAT score for their region and a junior year cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. I ask the following student to please stand and be recognized as a 2022-2023 scholar in the National Indigenous Recognition Scholars Program. Ayush Varma. Global citizenship, an Ignatian definition. St. Peter's Prep has joined with the Jesuit Schools Network to recognize these students as Ignatian Global Scholars among this year's graduated classes at Jesuit high schools in North America. Through a combination of coursework and co-curricular activities, Global Scholars are those who continuously seek to deepen their awareness of their place and responsibility in an increasingly interconnected world, both locally and globally. Those who stand in solidarity with others in pursuit of a sustainable earth and a more humane world, as true companions in the mission of reconciliation and justice, are recognized by both PrEP and the JSN. This year, we are proud to bestow this honor on two members of the class of 2023. Please stand and be recognized. Brian Christman, Kenneth Kramer. And finally, I call your attention to the program, which indicates the 51 members of the senior class who were nominated by our faculty to the National Honor Society, as well as the members of the Science Honor Society and the Language Honor Societies. They were chosen because of their past, present, and expected future demonstration of outstanding scholarship, character, leadership, and service. Congratulations to each of them. Please stand and be recognized now. Further academic awards will be announced when diplomas are conferred. And now, Mr. Morris.
At PrEP, we talk frequently about educating the whole person, putting a premium on achieving excellence in all we do, and recognizing God in all things. Those who combine excellence in academics and athletics model a great commitment and enthusiasm for life, both inside and outside of the classroom, refusing to compromise their pursuit of excellence in any way. For participating in one or more varsity sports while maintaining a cumulative GPA of 3.7 or higher, thus graduating with honors, we are pleased to recognize the following seniors with the St. Peter's Prep Scholar Athlete Award. Please stand as your name is called, and please hold your applause until all recipients have been recognized. Akshat Agarwal, Bryce Anderson, Horace Anderson, Sebastian Artiaga, William Barksdale, Evan Briggs, Ryan Byington, Gian Cases, Avi Chaudhry, Luis Carrero, Matthew Corwin, Jonathan Dereka, Logan Cash Dunkel, Mason Fisher, Zach Fisher, Jet Franqui, Dylan Fuller, Marco Giglio, Richard Harrington, Antoine Hurtado Barzac, Massimo Infante Meehan, Elliot Jablonski, Ishan Jain, Matthew January, Beckett Johnson Walters, Ryan Kinn, Matthew Kinsler, Maxwell Kirk, Frank Liggio, Theodore McCarthy, Drona Mohan, Jack Nielsen, Luke Piscatelli, William Richardson, London Robinson, Jude Sargent, Jamae Schenk, Alex Schimmel, Nicholas Schoen, Etienne Cervez, Nicholas Skabich, Johan Varghese, Tristan Wentworth. Additionally, we are pleased to recognize Matthew Kinsler and London Robinson, who are the recipients of the 2023 Hudson County Interscholastic Athletic League Scholar Athlete Award. At the state level, the 2023 New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association Award was given to Jonathan Dereka. Please stand and be recognized. At this time, we present 2 awards in memory of prep alumni who distinguished themselves as scholar athletes. John McGovern, who died in 1988, was an extremely well-liked and respected member of the class of 1980. He was especially admired for his leadership and his dedication to the spirit of teamwork that he brought daily to the prep basketball program. A number of his classmates created this award to be presented annually to a scholar athlete who best exemplified those attributes. This year, we are pleased to present the John McGovern Award to Jackson Tyndall. All eyes on you, JT. Jeff Kachel, a late member of the class of '89, was an honor student and 4-year athlete who competed in our baseball program. Jeff was a fierce competitor whose perseverance, commitment, and leadership embodied a true prep scholar athlete. This award in his name is presented to that prep student athlete who most exemplified the traits and qualities that made Jeff such a respected member of our school community. This year, the Kachel Memorial Student Athlete Award is presented to Matthew Corwin.
Congratulations to these and all our graduates on their achievements. At this point, I am pleased to introduce our speaker for the class of 2023. A native of Nutley, New Jersey, Rishi Bhandari came to prep from John H. Walker Middle School in Nutley. He has been a Sheehan Scholar and consistent honors student throughout his time at prep, as well as being involved in the Interfaith Life Community, Diversity Board, Italian Club, Italian Honor Society, and National Honor Society. He has also served as a leader for our community as chair of the Mission Drive Committee, vice president of the Science National Honor Society, and president of our student council. Next year, he will be attending the University of Pennsylvania. Please join me in welcoming our speaker for the class of 2023, Rishi Bhandari.
Dr. Gomez, Mr. Caulfield, Mr. McGovern, members of the Board of Trustees, administration, faculty and staff, family, friends, and the graduating class of 2023, thank you for the honor and the privilege of speaking here today. Engraved in gold letters beneath the newly unveiled statue of the young fisherman Peter are the three familiar words sub umbra petri, the Latin phrase meaning under the shadow of Peter. On the port bow of the boat, a pair of golden keys symbolize the potential of what lies ahead for Peter. However, in the daily morning rush of getting to first period, we sometimes fall short of recognizing the profound impact these words and symbols have had on the development of our character. The story of St. Peter, his shadow, and the golden keys mirror the high school experience of many prep students in its themes of courage, brotherhood, and resilience. Similar to how fishermen cast their nets into the mysterious depths of the ocean waters, we as freshmen had no way of anticipating what we would pull up with our nets: a wave of social unrest, a raging pandemic, and a dividing presidential election. However, in spite of all this, we matched the determination of young Peter as we traversed the murky waters of freshman year and embarked on an unforgettable journey at what Dr. Gomez calls the greatest school on the planet. As sophomores during COVID, we learned how to be resilient and versatile through hybrid learning. We stayed focused and disciplined, discovered new methods to connect with our peers and teachers, and adapted to a new learning environment, all while also perfecting the art of wearing sweatpants under our neatly ironed shirts and ties over Zoom. When we were forced to navigate these new turbulent waters, we refused to be defeated, a testament to the prep spirit that defines our class. Then, at the end of junior year, we gained a deeper appreciation for the diverse community that makes up the hallmark of prep. We embraced prep's mission statement of being both enriched and challenged by its diversity by exploring the hidden treasures of the world through various cultural exchanges. We immersed ourselves in the prep brotherhood by leading and rooting on our sports teams, celebrating the achievements of prep dramatics, and exploring numerous co-curricular and club opportunities. We learned how to embrace the grad-to-grad qualities in order to become the well-rounded and socially aware citizens that our hurting country so desperately needed. However, it is also important to note the various mentors who have persevered with us throughout this journey. After all, if it wasn't for the shadow they cast for us, we wouldn't be the prep men we are today. Shout out to Mr. Cool for teaching us that the mitochondria is indeed the powerhouse of the cell. Thank you to Mrs. McRoy and our APRISH class for teaching us that it is possible to finish a 12-page research paper in the minutes leading up to his 3 a.m. submission. Thank you to Mr. Murcia for showing us what it truly means to be a prep grad, one of continued enthusiasm and boundless energy. And thank you to all the coaches, mentors, and supporters who have pushed us to be our best selves, whether it be in the classroom, on the field, or on the stage. Prep has been and continues to be a place where we forge enduring bonds and pick up invaluable life lessons, like to never walk past Mr. Morris and Mr. Peters with white socks. I learned that the hard way. It has also been a place where we challenged ourselves, supported each other in times of need, discovered our passions and our purpose, celebrated together, and sadly, even recently, grieved together. I will continue to miss these tiny moments that made up the prep magic. I'll miss the mounting anticipation every time it snowed, and then the dread of realizing I would indeed have to go to school the next day as soon as I saw the boots permissible email from Mr. Morris. By the way, seniors, I never have and still don't have the power to simply cancel school whenever it snows or rains. I will miss the annoyance of having to click through Marauder Nation Instagram reposts of football and basketball games from underclassmen who didn't even attend. But in the end, that's what makes prep prep. It is not only the transformative moments, but the collection of the mundane, trivial aspects of our everyday lives that we will continue to reminisce about 10, 15, even 20 years from now. Every time I meet prospective students or families, I love to say that prep for me has not only been unique, but exemplary. After all, like our namesake St. Peter, we carry the tradition of being one of the first. We are the first and only Jesuit high school in New Jersey. We are the most diverse Jesuit high school in the country, and we can proudly say that we share the halls with some of the most extraordinary students in the world. Aksha Agarwal not only qualified, but won the National Merit Scholarship. Teddy McCarthy was commended by the U.S. Navy with the Naval ROTC Scholarship, and London Robinson was bestowed with the Heart of a Giant Award by the New York Giants. Yet, despite all of this, we are also the first to lose to the faculty and staff in 2 separate dodgeball and basketball games. Seniors, what happened? Faculty and staff, a rematch is expected. Finally, as we stand under the shadow of Peter for one last time, all 192 of us, we are reminded about the hurdles and successes we've experienced during our time here at Grandin Warren. With the golden keys in our hands and the Jesuit ideals in our hearts, we strive to make our mark upon the world. In doing so, we can continue to honor the legacy of St. Peter and the many generations of fellow prep brothers who have toiled the same path before us. Let us depart from this sacred space with a new sense of clarity and fortitude to live out the core values that define us as prep men: competence, conscience, and compassion. Together, let us march forward as fearless pioneers, enthusiastic trailblazers, and adventurous fishermen, actively exploring the boundaries of uncharted waters, always seeking to learn more. Let us challenge the status quo, knowing that we are supported by a larger, loving prep community. And let us never forget the wisdom we acquired, sub, umbra, petri, as the lessons we learned beneath Peter's shadow will become the map for all our journeys yet to come. Thank you.
Rishi, thank you for your words today and your many contributions to prep over the past 4 years. On behalf of the faculty, we are happy to present to you the Vincent J. Kennedy Class of '39 Award as the speaker of the Class of 2023. Congratulations. Okay, so I went a little off script, but this is the only time I get to say this. It's my first one, so it's fine. We're going to have Vox and the band give us an interlude right now, so thank you to them for all of their great contributions to us, and then we'll move along with the program. Thank you.
Though the world could end tomorrow, you and I will be together in whatever time we have. For as long as we are living, no life can be a battlefield. If we face it now run and we won't yield, you'll be my fortress and I will be your shield. No one really wants to be alone in whatever time we have. There are times I've been afraid in a world that's so uncertain. Then I feel your hand in mine, and there's courage in my heart. We could live 100 years, or the world could end tomorrow, but we know we'll be together in whatever time. From this day forward, nights won't seem so black. From this day forward, we will never look back. In whatever time we have, we will make the most of time, and at least we'll be together in whatever time we have.
Since 1872, PrEP has committed itself to educating the whole person. This begins in the classroom, but it continues through retreats, masses, and service trips. It plays out on the football and lacrosse fields, on basketball and volleyball courts, from the running track to the golf course. Among our many co-curricular offerings, I do want to mention and highlight the two successful activities that just performed for us: the St. Peter's Prep Band and Chorus. As the graduates who performed today begin to move back to their seats, I can say that performing arts at St. Peter's Prep are flourishing, and Prep's concert band, jazz band, and Vox ensembles each earned accolades this year. The spring and concert jazz bands earned a rating of excellent and earned second place in our National Spring Music Festival held in Sandusky, Ohio. Our senior band members are Ryan Bay, Kenneth Kramer, John Samaji, and Stephen Vago. Kenneth Kramer will be a music major attending on a scholarship at St. Louis University in the fall. Our senior Vox members are Kyle Torrenti, Michael Fasciano, Owen Sanchez, and Joseph Roxas. Vox competed this past weekend in the Music in the Parks Festival and came in first place with a rating of excellence. Thank you to Mr. Kaslowitz and Ms. Fensick and all the members of band and chorus. Thank you for your fine work over the course of the year and your terrific contribution to today's celebration. Choosing a faculty member as the speaker for PrEP's graduation is no easy task, as the choices are far too numerous. Salvatore Viniero is a 2005 graduate of St. Peter's Prep from Lyndhurst, New Jersey, who discovered his love of languages at Prep and went on to earn a BA in German and secondary education a degree in European Studies from an Italian university, and a master's degree in German. During his 12 years at Prep, he has taught German and Italian, but just a few years ago, he also began his work as our Director of Global Initiatives. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Viniero to the podium.
Good morning, Dr. Gomez, Mr. Caulfield, the Board of Trustees, colleagues, and friends, Prep families, and of course, the graduating class of 2023. I was nervous to accept Mr. Caulfield's invitation to be the commencement speaker this year, but I thought if you guys could use Google Translate to get through my German and Italian classes, I can use ChatGPT for this, right? No, I didn't take the easy way out. I wrote this myself so it could be something that I take pride in. I know that many of you have learned the value of being able to take pride in your schoolwork, take pride in your contributions to a club or team, and in what you do for your families. We often talk about Prep pride here, and I certainly hope you feel that as you're about to walk across this stage. So what is it exactly that we are proud of? What is Prep? Is it a collection of buildings at Grand and Warren? What makes it what it is? I was thinking about these questions as I'm in the midst of preparing this summer's exchanges and trips, and I decided to send the poem, I Am the Prep, nicely framed from our campus shop, as gifts to our partner schools to represent us. I am the Prep. Therein lies the answer. Whenever I'm trying to explain what Prep is like to a potential partner school, I am talking about our Prep guys. I'm describing, usually bragging, about you and explaining why you make this the perfect school to partner with. I know many times throughout your Prep careers you have heard about the grad at grad, the graduate of a Jesuit school at graduation, and the values that such a person is supposed to embody. Well, you're here now, the graduates at graduation, and the extent to which you live up to those values determines what Prep is. This is why we care about how you carry yourself on public transportation, how you speak in the courtyard, and how you represent your school on a trip abroad. Your collective actions, who all of you are the weight behind the piece of paper that you are going to receive today. It affects those who came before you and those that will come after you. Over the past 4 years, you and your families have chosen to invest in a Prep education. What that is worth, what it means when someone sees Prep on your resume or hears that you're an alumnus is determined by you. You're all unique and will go on to very different things, to define success on your own terms when it's not always about the approval or disappointment of a teacher, of a coach, of a parent. Still, we hope the lessons that you have learned are ingrained into who you are, and that they will shine through in your actions and in your choices. No matter what incredible and interesting things you choose to do, you do them as Prep men. And hopefully you continue to share them with us, even if you don't make your way back here as a Prep teacher, as so many of us have. I don't know if sitting in my white dinner jacket, looking up at the graduation stage like you are now, I could have imagined where my life or career would go. Probably not. But I can now remember the moments at Prep that formed me and have brought me to this place, and I'm truly grateful for them. I love working at Prep. And two of the most rewarding aspects of my job are when students return from one of our programs and tell me how life-changing the experience was, and when alumni come back to Prep to tell me about their successes and joys, their memories and values of Prep and how they've carried them into their lives. That moment is always amazing. Whether it was a student about whom I never had any doubts, or it was one of those students that didn't make teaching so easy, you know who you are. Regardless of that, it seems the values that your parents planted and that this school hopefully fostered in you always develop into something wonderful. So I hope that you reflect on that today. Reflect on what you bring with you from Prep and how that can shape your future. Then, when you hear about the successes and trials of those sitting around you today, I hope you root for and care for each other as brothers, protecting the legacy that you are entrusted with. That is what Prep Pride means, and I'm proud to call you my Prep brothers. Congratulations, and thank you.
Mr. Viniero, thank you. Charlie Rooney was a member of the prep faculty for 38 years, retiring in 1985. The father of 2 prep graduates, Mr. Rooney embodied all that makes a prep teacher memorable: scholarship, humor, dedication, dependability, and a deep grounding in Ignatian principles. And so, it is fitting that we honor his memory with the Charlie Rooney Award to the faculty speaker at graduation each year. Congratulations, Mr. Miera. Just making sure I'm at the right spot here. Next, we are proud to present a number of awards to outstanding members of the senior class. The Reverend John E. Browning Society of Jesus Class of 46 Award was inaugurated in 1998 on the occasion of Father Browning's death. Father Browning was a Jersey City native and a member of the prep class of 1946. As a young Jesuit priest, he returned to prep, where for the next 35 years, he served as the driving force behind the Higher Achievement Program. He was also a teacher, counselor, and principal, whose work was characterized by a tremendous sense of humility and service. This award is presented to a young man modeling the virtues Father Browning lived with such distinction: courage, wisdom, and humble service in pursuit of justice. We are proud to present the John E. Browning Award to Charles Burt. Please come up. Thank you. You can come up this way, Charles. Just, yeah, cut right up the gut. There you go. Don't want to make you walk too far. Our next award is the Jerome Peterson Class of 1992 Award. Jerome Peterson passed away in February of 2001, and while his life may have been short, his impact at prep was anything but. His time at Grandin Warren as a student, athletic trainer, and HAP teacher was characterized by good humor, deep faith in God, and selfless generosity to the prep community. He had the gift of bringing people together, and in him, all found common ground. He was a man for all seasons. This award is presented to a senior who models the virtues of Jerome Peterson, lived with such the virtues that Jerome Peterson lived with such distinction: a gentle manner, good humor, faith, and generous service to the prep. We proudly present the Jerome Peterson 92 Award to Jose Valverde. The Agape Award was established by an alumnus and his wife, and its name holds a particular significance in the Christian lexicon. Agape is the Greek word used to describe God's unconditional love for all people. A love that goes beyond what is fair, deserved, or even rational. Love modeled by the Good Shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one, and by the Father who welcomes home the prodigal son. This award recognizes a graduate actively living a life of faith shaped by the Gospels. We are proud to present the Agape Award to Elliot Jablonski. The Jesuit Schools Network Award is the next award we will present. The Jesuit Schools Network compromises the 65 American Jesuit high schools and supports the work of each school in educating young people of competence, conscience, and compassion in the Ignatian tradition. This award honors a young man who exhibits the characteristics of Jesuit education, a man who is intelligent, open to growth, religious, loving, and committed to doing justice. We are proud to present the Jesuit Schools Network Award to Maurice Williams. You're getting the hang of it now, good. We continue now with the Reverend Francis J. Shalhoub Society of Jesus Award. Father Shalhoub was a longtime member of the prep community who served for more than 30 years as a guidance counselor, principal, and director of alumni relations. The award is presented annually to the young man who best exemplifies loyalty to the ideals of St. Peter's, an outstanding spirit of service to the prep community, and personal development characterized by the phrase, "a man for others." We are proud to present the Francis J. Shalhoub Award ex aequo to Massimo Infante Mian and Jackson Tyndall. Congratulations. And this year, we are proud to introduce a new award, the Jesuit Veterans Service Award. A tenet of the graduate at graduation is committed to justice. The Jesuit Veterans Service Award hopes to highlight a young man who exemplifies the act of selfless service to others. This award hopes to encourage public service as a means of developing the whole person, highlight the responsibilities of citizenship in our democracy, and promote selfless service. This young man exemplified our mission to instill courage to advance the common good. We are proud to present the Jesuit Veterans Service Award to Teddy McCarthy. Each day, the tireless work of our faculty and staff helps make Prep such a wonderful place. Each member of our faculty and staff has left our students with memories, influences, and inspiration that will stay with them forever. On behalf of the class of 2023, I ask that faculty and staff present stand and be recognized. Thank you. I also offer special recognition to members of the faculty and staff who have devoted 20 years of service to St. Peter's Prep and earned the Bene Merenti Award. I ask that our Bene Merenti awardees stand as I call their names and the years they first began their service at St. Peter's, and to remain standing until the last name has been called. Michael Fletcher, 2002. James Hollywood, 2002. Rocco Tejada, 2001. John Fensick, 2001. Ken Such, 2001. Ella Glazer, 2000. Rosalie Romano, 2000. Mr. Steve Kaslowitz, 1999. Anthony Verdi, 1999. Hugo Ello, 1997. Richard Peters, 1997. Mary Phyllis Lucretio, 1992. Diane McCabe, 1992. Grace Galario, 1990. Arvin Saw, 1990. John Irvin, 1989. Elizabeth Walsh, 1985. Richard Hansen, 1983. James Horan, 1974. And Reverend John Mullen, 1970. And today, I am happy to induct two new members of our staff to this distinguished group, who collectively have served our school community in a myriad of ways outside of the classroom and individually have modeled for all in ways seen and more often unseen what it means to be a man for and with others. Mr. Josh Jantis, class of 1995, has served as prep soccer coach for 20 years. He began as an assistant to Mr. John Irvin in 2003 and took over the program as head coach in 2007. Josh secured his 200th win last year and is on the path to surpass his predecessor, Mr. Irvin, next season to become the winningest coach in prep history. Congratulations, Josh. Please come up. Mr. Rich Hansen III, class of 2003, began his work at Prep as a college freshman, joining the football staff as an assistant coach in the fall of 2003. Since that time, Rich served for years, since 2007, as the defensive coordinator on teams where his father, Rich Hansen, was the head coach, and Rich took over the program in 2021 as the new head football coach. Rich has also been a member of the Health and Physical Education Department for 15 years and currently serves as the head of the department as well as assistant athletic director while also teaching computer science courses. Congratulations, Rich. Please come up. There's one more group here today who deserve thanks and congratulations for their part in making this day possible. I ask all parents and guardians of today's graduates to please stand. Commencement is not simply a rite of passage. It is an acknowledgement of our 4 years of success, sacrifice, and of support. Parents and guardians of our graduates, you have entrusted St. Peter's Prep with your sons, and Prep has been blessed by this gift. More than anyone else, you are responsible for having provided your sons with the grounding, the direction, and the spirit that have brought them to this joyous day. As their first and best teachers, I hope you will take great pride in all they have achieved. Graduates, understand with your hearts that true greatness is never achieved without love and support. And never forget what you have achieved and what you celebrate this day was realized through the love and faith of those who have supported you. I would ask our graduates and faculty and staff to acknowledge the parents once again of the guardians, or parents and guardians of the class of 2023. Thank you. I will now ask Ms. Epler and others to lead our graduates to the stage, one row at a time, to receive their diplomas. When you reach the stage, please stand at the marker next to Dr. Gomez and wait for the photographer to take your photo and then return to your seat. Dr. Gomez, I present to you the members of the class of St. Peter's Prep 2023. And I attest that they have successfully completed the course of studies and have been conferred diplomas of graduation. I ask that Mr. Peters and Mr. Morris return to the podium to call on these names, and we ask that you hold your applause until each row of graduates has been recognized.
Elijah Abraham. Dennis Acevedo. D.G. Haddad. Receiving his diploma from his brothers, Matthew Adams, Prep Class of 2019, and Patrick Adams, Prep Class of 2021, Jack Adams. Ryan Adams. Receiving a Gold Award in English, a Gold Award in Mathematics, magna cum laude, Akshat Argwal. Receiving his diploma from his brothers, Brian Liggio, Prep Class of 2015, and Danny Liggio, Prep Class of 2017, magna cum laude, Frank Liggio. Receiving his diploma from his father, Brian Chrisman, Prep Class of 1990, cum laude, Brian Chrisman. Kevin Alcantara. Briscoe Anderson. Cum laude, Bryce Anderson. Cum laude, Horace Anderson. Receiving his diploma from his brother Mark Ananuevo, prep class of 2016, Vince Ananuevo. Jordan Armour. Congratulations.
Receiving his diploma from his brother Hudson Pareda, prep class of 2019, William Arnone. Cum laude, Sebastian Arteaga. Receiving his diploma from his mother, Maysoon Awad, a member of Prep's Guidance and College Counseling Department, Amr Awad. Mema Iore. Magna cum laude, Ryan Bay. Magna cum laude, William Barksdale. Cum laude, Paolo Francis Bautista. Receiving a gold award in science, a gold award in Italian, a silver award in mathematics ex aequo, a silver award in history ex aequo, magna cum laude Risha Bandari. Receiving his diploma from his brother Andrea Bonetti, prep class of 2021, Alessandro Bonetti. Jaden Bonsu. Receiving his diploma from his brother Michael Lucia, prep class of 2016, George Bertoli III. Cum laude, Evan Briggs. Derek Bright. Griffin Burke. Congratulations.
Receiving a gold award in theology, Charles Burke. Receiving his diploma from his brother William Byington, prep class of 2021, cum laude, Ryan Byington. Thomas Canella. Receiving his diploma from his brother Joseph Canciano, prep class of 2021, Michael Canciano. Enzo Capano. Receiving a gold award in Latin, a gold award in computer science, magna cum laude, Gian Cases. Donovan Chavis. Cum laude, Avi Chaudhry. Receiving a silver award in mathematics ex aequo, magna cum laude, Ishan Chen. Receiving a silver award in science and receiving his diploma from his father, Nicholas Chevroletti, prep class of 1990, Magna cum laude, Nicholas Chevrolati. Cum laude, Nicholas Connolly. Cum laude, Luis Carrero. Receiving his diploma from his father, Dennis Corwin, prep class of 1987, cum laude, Matthew Corwin. Caleb Crawley. Congratulations.
Thomas Deloy. Magna cum laude, Jonathan Dereca. Receiving a gold award in French ex aequo, magna cum laude, Arjun Dhawan. Edward DiBella. Nico Duarte. Cum laude, Logan Cash Dunkel. Magna cum laude, Johnny Echeverria. Jared Edwards. Amir El Ghazali. Matthew Elder. Alan Esteban. Receiving a silver award in vocal music, Michael Fasciano. Magna cum laude, Mason Fisher. Magna cum laude, Zach Fisher. Congratulations.
Cum laude, Connor Fitterty. Xavier Flores. Ty Flott. Cum laude, Jet Franklin. Receiving his diploma from his father, Mike Fromfield, prep class of 1991, Kevin Fromfield. Cum laude, Dylan Fuller. Connor Gallagher. Stephen Gelchik. Cum laude, Marco Giglio. Receiving his diploma from his brother, Samuel Gilhawley, prep class of 2020, Luke Gilhawley. Kevin Gomes. Declan Good. Receiving a silver award in history ex aequo, magna cum laude, Jake Brouillon. Cum laude, Nelson Ha. Oliver Harag. The pages, sorry. No. We're here. Okay. Nicholas Herman. Receiving his diploma from his father, John Hester Jr., prep class of 1988, and his brother, John Hester III, prep class of 2017, Liam Hester. Oliver Harag. Cum laude, Richard Harrington. Cum laude, Richard Harrington. Benjamin Henderson. Cum laude, Antoine Hurtado Barzak. Receiving his diploma from his father, Anthony Iglesias, prep class of 1991, cum laude, Anthony Iglesias Jr. Receiving a silver award in theology, cum laude, Massimo Infante Meehan. Receiving his diploma from his father, Jeffrey Jablonski, prep class of 1988, and his brother, Nathaniel Jablonski, prep class of 2021, cum laude, Elliot Jablonski. Cum laude, Ishan Jen. Magna cum laude, Matthew January. Cum laude, Beckett Johnson Walters. Theodore Josephson. Congratulations. Receiving his diploma from his brother Liam Cagle, prep class of 2019, Connor Cagle. And also receiving his diploma from his brother Liam, Sean Cagle. Brian Kelly. Luke Kelly. Cum laude, Ryan Kidd. Eric King. Cum laude, Matthew Kinsler. Cum laude, Maxwell Kirk. Magna cum laude, Vipul Kothakonda. Receiving a Gold Award in Instrumental Music and receiving his diploma from his brother Jack Kramer, Prep Class of 2019, cum laude, Kenneth Kramer. Receiving his diploma from Keith Cummings, Director of Christian Service in the Class of 2009, Jaden Lambert. Cum laude, Garrett Lasky. Michael Lemanowitz. Receiving a Gold Award in History, magna cum laude, Robert Leon Jr. Congratulations.
Robert Long. Receiving his diploma from his brother Rehan Lopez, Prep Class of 2021, Emilio Lopez. Receiving his diploma from his brother Gage Luckin, Prep Class of 2022, cum laude, Alec Luckin. Receiving his diploma from his father Robert Maharaja, Prep Class of 1998, Jalen Maharaja. Receiving his diploma from his brother Max Malanga, Class of 2021, Zach Malanga. Jack Mara. Cum laude, Lee Mara. Receiving a Gold Award in German, Maximilian Marco. Cum laude, Benedict Mara. Receiving his diploma from his brother Durkin McCarthy, Prep Class of 2018, cum laude, Theodore McCarthy. Receiving his diploma from his uncle Jim Sweeney, Prep Class of 1971, and a Board of Trustees member, Kevin McDonough. Aiden McMillan. Andrew Medina. Receiving his diploma from his brother Hendry Mejia, Prep Class of 2020, Dylan Mejia. Congratulations.
Cum laude, Daniel Barrow. Henry Michaud. Magna cum laude, Drona Mohan. Brandon Montemayor. Magna cum laude, Jack Moran. Cum laude, Jack Nelson. Receiving his diploma from his brother Brian Novak, Prep Class of 2017, magna cum laude, Matthew Novak. Niall O'Neill. Receiving his diploma from his brother Chima Owadike, Gianluca Owadike. Dmitry Penchenko. Cum laude, Andrew Para. Receiving a Gold Award in Creative Writing, Angelo Polici. Receiving his diploma from his brother Justin Pena, prep class of 2016, Ethan Pena. Congratulations.
Julio Pereira, Jr. Gavin Pessoa. Giulio Petroselli. Receiving his diploma from his uncle, John Puglisi, prep class of 1977, and a Board of Trustees member, Santo Petroselli. Ori Pin. Cum laude, Luke Piscatelli. Samuel Porch. Magna cum laude, Michael Prete. Receiving a Silver Award in Visual Arts, Faustino Quiles. Mikai Ramsey Middleton. Receiving a Gold Award in Spanish, ex aequo, cum laude, William Richardson. Cum laude, London Robinson. Joseph Rojas. Cum laude, Kevin Rosario. Congratulations.
Isaiah Ruiz. Magna cum laude, Gabriel Russell. Owen Sanchez. Jacob Saniola. Receiving a Gold Award in Spanish ex aequo, cum laude, Jude Sargent. Cum laude, Jamae Shank. Receiving his diploma from his brother Brandon Schimmel, prep class of 2022, magna cum laude, Alex Schimmel. Magna cum laude, Nicholas Schoen. Receiving his diploma from his father Charles Sciarra, prep class of 1987, and his brother Alexander Sciarra, prep class of 2021, Christopher Sciarra. Receiving a Gold Award in French ex aequo, magna cum laude, Etienne Servais. Michael Shipman. Magna cum laude, Kevin Schull. Mason Simmons. Isaiah Simpson. Congratulations.
Delandre Singson. Christopher Scabich. Cum laude, Nicholas Skabich. Gavin Skoronski. Receiving his diploma from his brother James, prep class of 2021, David Slowinski. John Stocknecht. Jacob Stegg. Ethan Suarez. Receiving a silver award in instrumental music, cum laude, John Sumagi. Sean Swiatek. Receiving a gold award in visual arts, cum laude, Jones Swift. Receiving his diploma from his brother James Tyndall, prep class of 2004, Jackson Tyndall. Receiving a gold award in vocal music, magna cum laude, Kyle Torrenti. Magna cum laude, Carter Tuzelen. Congratulations.
Chad Trammell. Robert Treefort Jr. Jacob Turingen. Receiving a silver award in English, magna cum laude, Stephen Vega. Jose Valverde. Brian Alstein. Brian Van Alstein. My apologies. Cum laude, Johan Varghese. Magna cum laude, Ayush Varma. William Vastine. Kaimana Focal. Maven Vontananik. Bryce Walashewski. Quentin Weintraub. Receiving a silver award in Latin and receiving the diploma from his brothers Kevin, class of 2022, and Ryan, class of 2020, magna cum laude, Tristan Whitworth. Congratulations.
Felipe Viget. Andrew Williams. Magna cum laude, Maurice Williams. Kenneth Winkelbleck. Alexander Zaccardi. Niall Zaki. Receiving his diploma from his father, Claudio Zamara, prep class of 1990, magna cum laude, Leonardo Zamara. Gianluca Zurlo. Congratulations.
Okay, how about one more time for the St. Peter's Prep class of 2023. Welcome to the club, gentlemen! To all of my prep brothers and prep sisters, thank you to all of you for being a part of this long and glorious tradition of celebrating all that we are as the St. Peter's Prep community. Then, now, always. Then, now, always. Gentlemen, you did it. Through all the long days, filled with maybe a long commute, and practice and homework and tests and papers and wins and losses, and some anxieties and some mistakes, and of course, some laughs. Actually, a lot of laughs. All of that, every moment has helped you acquire this. The ability to reason, to articulate, to discern, to understand, to create, to evaluate, to forgive, to ask for forgiveness, to prioritize, to pray, to find a prep brother, especially one on crutches so you can carry his book bag on the elevator. You acquire the ability to conjugate a Latin verb, to decipher train schedules, to advise a freshman on locating Moriarty, Maury, Hogan, and Shalou. You have also acquired some of the best friends for life and the ability to love more deeply. Sometimes that's the best part, and that's all a part of you now. As you well know, acquiring all that at times was exhausting. Sometimes it was prep 24/7, prep, and you hit repeat. I hope that you realize that it was through this exhaustion of giving your best, of actually finding your very, very best, that you brought true beauty to the world and therefore gave glory to God. Ad Maiorum Dei Gloria. I hope that way of life is a part of you as well. And of course, it wasn't just your exhaustion, right? We got to go a little easy on graduation day about patting ourselves on the back. As we shared earlier, parents, guardians, of course we are grateful for you. And this day is for you. A chance to recall and celebrate, perhaps in disbelief, how your son has grown. And I'm not just talking about the first steps he took on Warren Street into prep, but maybe since those first steps ever. I'm sure you can picture those steps, as well as that first smile and the first time he looked you in the eye and said, "I love you." You have watched this small child, this kid, right? This small kid grow up on a unique, wonderfully uneven, and completely unpredictable timetable. Somehow and somewhere along the way, he grew up. He grew up, but he's still yours. Then, now, always. It's also pride and glory, then, now, always. Obviously, when you think of your prep experience, you have a then and a now. Those are your own. But your always starts today. And to so many of us, the always means the most. The always is the best part. The always is what it has always been about. The prep experience does not just help define the person you are, but it motivates you to constantly refine the person you will be for the rest of your life. And I hope as you continue this lifelong refinement, the refinement of your mind, your heart, your soul, your character, I hope you make a great discovery. A great discovery. I hope you discover the holy boldness and sacred madness inside of you. That holy boldness and sacred madness that stirs your soul to love and to dream. The one that creates an unstoppable dream inside of you that puts a dent in the universe when it comes true. How great will it be when you do that? I'm grateful for you. We started 4 years together. I love you, then, now, always. My brothers, welcome to the club. Let's go prep. Thank you. So for as long as I can remember, and definitely longer, every prep graduation has ended the same way. And that's with the singing of our alma mater, Pride and Glory. Proud to continue that tradition with you. So I invite the members of the class of 2023 to please stand. You clap for them again. It's their day to shine. I also would like to invite all the prep alumni in the audience to please stand. You can clap for them too, would be nice. And then finally, I would like the entire faculty and staff to please stand. Terrific applause for them. Okay, prep band and Vox, roll it.
It is our pride and our glory, both in song and in story. And we cherish your name and we love your fame for the days of long ago. And we your sons will be loyal. Leaders so royal, may your banner still guide us wherever we go. It is a story of gladness, with no shadow of sadness. Our years spent with you, St. Peter so true, and we hold our hearts again. And through the years we will treasure, with the joy beyond measure, the gifts you have given, we shall never forget.
All right, let's grab a seat. Grab a seat. Thanks so much for the prep band and Vox today. I'd also like to thank Mr. Chris Caulfield, Miss Emma Bagg, Miss Emily Fensick, Mr. Steve Kaslowitz, Miss Mary Phyllis Lucretio, Miss Dalma Santana, Mr. Mike Duran, and above all, Miss Grace Galario for coordinating today's celebration. May we give it up for them. It's a lot of hard work. And I'd also like to give a great shout out to Mr. Kevin Albers and Prep's operations staff, not just for creating this beautiful setting, but for all the work they do for us all year. They are just outstanding. Great job. Okay, so before Father Munn leads us in our closing prayer, I would like to recognize a long-serving member of the Prep community. And I want to point out to my right, Mr. Phil McGovern, Prep's chairman of the Board of Trustees and graduate of the class of 1976. The Insignis Award was established to recognize the type of person that St. Ignatius Loyola would have wanted to draw to the Society of Jesus. As quoted on the plaque, Ignatius writes, "Those who wish to give greater proof of their love and distinguish themselves in whatever concerns the service of the eternal Lord and King of all, will not only offer themselves entirely for the work of the kingdom, but will act against anything that would make their response less total." This award is conferred occasionally at the discretion of the president or the principal, and is Prep's highest honor for members of our board, faculty, and staff. As a partner in the major New Jersey law firm Connell Foley, Phil McGovern is always in demand for his time in counsel. But no matter what other professional or personal commitments he is balancing, he has always shared an abundance of his time with St. Peter's Prep. In addition to serving as a Prep trustee from 2004 to 2010, Mr. McGovern has led our board as chairman for the past 11 years and will complete his service at the end of this month. Mr. McGovern has been one of Prep's key strategic advisors for decades. Whenever we as an institution have faced daunting challenges or bold opportunities, he has provided encouragement or caution as we determine the appropriate course of action. As Prep's primary legal counsel, he has advised Prep on school policies, construction contracts, property acquisitions and sales, and the school's interaction with Jersey City officials. Most importantly, is not only a proud alumnus, but also the son, the brother, and the father of Prep alumni. His connection to the Jesuit values that define life at Grandin Warren is both deep and personal. Those values guide his every decision, and in turn, guide us to live our mission to the fullest. Mr. McGovern epitomizes all the Jesuit education is about: integrity, selfless service, care for others, and generous sharing of talents and treasures. Personally, over my 4 years here, Mr. McGovern has generously provided me with an incredible amount of support, counsel, and insight. Thanks for loving Prep so much. So for all this, and his tireless commitment to St. Peter's Prep, I'm extremely proud to bestow this Insignis Award on Mr. Phil McGovern, class of 1976. Congratulations, Phil. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Father John Mullen to close our ceremonies as we start them with prayer. Father.
Jeremiah the prophet tells us something of God's desire for each one of us. He writes, "I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And so, let us pray. God of hope and new beginnings, send down your Spirit upon these prep graduates. Be one step ahead of them as they plan the road that lies ahead. Make them young men of integrity, faithful to the traditions of their faith and to the ideals of St. Peter's Prep. Fill them with courage to make right choices that are just and merciful. And as we continue to see the suffering of so many people caught in the horrors of warfare, the refugees and migrants, bless our graduates with generous and compassionate hearts, so that they can be the hands that reach out to those in need and be the voices of hope that seek the ways of peace. In their love, help them continue to appreciate the differences among cultures and races as manifestations of your all-encompassing love. Give them a love of your creation so that they embrace the stewardship of our planet, which you have entrusted to our care. We make our prayer to you, O God, who delights in all people, O God, beyond all names, who we call Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Mullen. Just a real quick note, you'll see that we have a staging area over there. It's a perfect place for some pictures if you'd like. But at this time, I now declare the 145th graduation exercise of St. Peter's Preparatory School closed. Thanks and have a great day.